So now we're on the west coast of Florida. I ended up doing the drive yesterday evening. I started in the Vero Beach area and then went across the state of Florida over to the west coast Englewood areas where I'm at right now. It worked out pretty well. I took Highway 70 and Highway 72, so I did mostly manage to avoid interstates pretty much the whole way, so that stuck with my goal that I set. That route definitely took me through some pretty rural areas in Florida, which is exactly what I'm looking for on this trip here. I noticed that there were a bunch of cow fields, and what was strange about them is in these cow fields, they have a bunch of palm trees lined up right next to where all the cows are grazing and everything. So seeing a sight of just a bunch of cows grazing, that's pretty normal for me. I've driven all over the country, but to see it next to palm trees was something pretty different. You may ask why I decided to make this spontaneous trip to the Gulf Coast. Well, it definitely wasn't in search of waves. The surf is pretty much completely flat right now. My parents are actually here visiting. My dad's got a friend that he's had since high school. They're really good friends, been friends for over 40 years, and he lives here with his wife in the Englewood, Florida area. So they decided to come over and take a little vacation from Massachusetts and spend some time here, and I decided to come over and hang out with them for a couple days. Today we've been hanging out at the Don Pedro Island State Park here in Florida. It's interesting because the island is only accessible by boat. Luckily, my dad's friend Mark has a boat, so he took us over here for the day and we've been exploring. I'm pretty sure this is also the first time I've been on a small boat in a very long time, like since I was a young kid. I've been on bigger boats before, cruises and ferries, but never anything that small. Pretty similar to the situation with the airplane. Although this maybe isn't as cool as flying an airplane, it's still been a lot of fun. Not to mention, this state park is absolutely beautiful. You've got access to the Gulf on one side and then the bay on the other side. All these docks to dock your boats, and there's tons of people out on kayaks and on stand-up paddle boards and everything. It's really an awesome place. In other news, I seem to have lost the family. I went for a walk and then I went back to the beach and now they're gone. I assume that they're back at the boat, but I guess if they're not, that'll be a problem. I found them. They were at the boat. I feel like I've always kind of underrated the west coast of Florida. Really haven't spent a whole lot of time here. I have spent a lot of time on the Panhandle and Pensacola Beach, and there's no doubt that those are some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, but the beaches here are pretty awesome as well. I don't know if I'd ever necessarily be able to live here full time or anything like that. The surf can get good from time to time, but it's very rare, and I don't know if I would want to deal with that lack of consistency. But that being said, there is definitely something more to the ocean than just the surfing aspect of it all. And while that will probably be a priority for me for a very long time, I've learned being around these other communities that there are a lot of people who appreciate the ocean for a lot of other reasons, like the boating community that I've been exposed to the past couple of days here, been able to ride on a boat for the first time in years. It has me thinking that maybe at some point I'll want to get a sailboat and Element van life will become Element sailboat life, and then I'll just take to the seas. I don't know, it's not really something that I have put too much thought into, but maybe 5 years down the road it's something that I could get behind. It is looking like I'll more than likely have to spend some time not surfing for the next couple of weeks. The long range forecast for both the west coast and the east coast of Florida looks pretty flat and pretty miserable, so I think that could also be a blessing in disguise though. It's going to allow me to hang out in the national forest in Central Florida a little more, do some camping that I've wanted to do, and catch up on a few other things as well.
gotta be like...
That's a Corvette that was turned into a boat. Not something that you see every day.
You couldn't get here unless you had a boat. Yeah. Because the people down on the state beach down there couldn't walk to here because the water was all the way up to the edge of the mangroves. Wow. But now that it's all beach all the way back, everybody can walk down here now.
Why is this red light blinking?
Because it's recording.
You're recording you?
Yeah. It's been really great getting the chance to hang out here on the Gulf Coast for the past couple of days. Got to go to a bunch of different beaches and state parks in the area and explore there. Got to ride on the boat a couple of different times. Like I said before, that was the first time I had been on a small boat in a really long time, so that was really cool. And got the chance to hang out with my parents as well. I hadn't seen them since Christmas time, and I don't really know when the next time I'm going to be able to see them again is, so it was really nice being able to spend time with them. Also got some quality dolphin time out there on the water, being able to hang out with some wild dolphins and take pictures and video. That's something that I always enjoy. It never really seems to get old. Special thanks to Mark and Sharon for hosting my parents and I here at their home in Florida for a couple of days and showing us around the area. It was really awesome. I've been hanging out for a couple of days waiting for this package to arrive here, but now that it's finally here, I'm free to get back on the road. I'm pretty excited about what's inside here, but I'm going to be talking about that in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Before ending the vlog, I do have one new Patreon pledge to thank as well, the Libby Element. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon team. I'll talk to y'all in the next one.